Jackie Chan!
The story begins with Walter sprinting through a crowded market, desperately trying to lose a group of pursuers. He reaches a mailbox and quickly drops a package inside, looking relieved. However, as soon as he steps into the road, a van strikes and sends him heaven instantly. This tragedy becomes the catalyst that forces his estranged sons to reunite. The next day, James, the eldest son, is at a military academy. He's training recruits in underwater breath holding, but they keep surfacing too soon. James is visibly annoyed by their lack of discipline. A young messenger interrupts to deliver the news. His father is dead. James goes to identify Walter's body, yet he remains cold and unemotional. It is revealed that Walter had 2 wives, and the official report claims he was the victim of a hit and run. James returns home and informs Layla of the news without showing any emotion. Layla insists he tell his brother John. James hesitates, noting that neither of them had a relationship with Walter. He adds that since he and John haven't spoken in 20 years, John likely won't care. Layla tells him she's going to contact John anyway. In Oklahoma City, we meet a police officer named John. When he arrives home, Valentina is angry because of his lack of communication. John promises to do better, but Valentina reveals she's leaving him. He completely forgot it was her birthday. Heartbroken and stressed, John watches her walk out, leaving him alone. That night, a grieving John is drinking heavily when Layla pulls. She introduces herself as James's wife and shares the news of Walter's death. John, who believed his father was already dead, remains indifferent and refuses her invitation to the funeral. Suddenly, 2 men break into his room and seize him. They demand a package Walter allegedly mailed to him. When John denies it, they reveal they are with the Yakuza. Infuriated, John fights back and brutally defeats both men. During the struggle, the attackers knock over photos of John's mother's remains, possessions he deeply treasures. Distraught by the disrespect to her memory, John decides to investigate Walter's secret life. The next day, John arrives at the funeral and meets James's family, including their sister, Nani. The reunion is tense. The brothers have different mothers and a history of childhood friction. Despite the awkwardness, James still cares for his younger brother. Both men notice suspicious individuals lurking among them. They recall that Walter's career as a private investigator earned him many enemies. The atmosphere shifts when Peter, the city's governor, delivers a speech. He reveals he was a close friend of Walter's and expresses sincere joy at seeing the brothers back together. That evening, the family gathers at the house. Peter praises both brothers, but Nani remains angry with John for skipping the funeral of James's mother, Maria, years ago. When asked about his life, John mentions his recent breakup and reveals the truth. Walter was murdered, and Yakuza thugs attacked him looking for a package. James is immediately skeptical, assuming John is in trouble again due to his reckless past. John denies this, and the 2 step outside to argue. James demands the truth, reminding John that 20 years ago, he violently attacked a gang under the false belief they killed his mother. John counters, accusing James of moving on and never believing in him. Frustrated and hurt, John storms off. John heads to a bar to drink, but the bartender slips something into his glass. Dizzied by the drugged drink, John is abducted and brought before Mr. K, a powerful Japanese mob boss in Hawaii. Mr. K is still furious over the incident 20 years ago when John assaulted his men. The boss clarifies 2 things. He didn't kill John's mother back then, and he won't tolerate John's presence now. He gives John a 7-day ultimatum to leave the island or face death. When John initially refuses, Mr. K slashes his face as a brutal warning. Faced with overwhelming force, John finally backs down. The next day, James searches through Walter's belongings and discovers his office keys along with a list of 12 mysterious codes. Meanwhile, John is already at Walter's office. His search is interrupted when he catches an intruder breaking in. John quickly overpowers the stranger and demands answers. The young man identifies himself as Pika, a hacker who assisted Walter with his investigations. When John asks about potential enemies, Pika explains that Walter was at odds with half the city. John decides to take charge, telling Pika that he is his new boss. While John is busy at the office, James visits the site where Walter died. He notices a security camera on a nearby storefront and enters to request the footage. The shopkeepers refuse and begin to threaten him. James tries to bribe them, but they remain hostile. Losing patience, James uses his military training to single-handedly beat the entire group. Back at the office, John and Pika continue their search. John notices a surfboard that seems off. He inspects it and discovers a hidden map. It appears to be a set of blueprints for a major project, though the purpose remains unclear. At City Hall, Governor Peter delivers a speech regarding new developments in Hawaii. Nani, who works as his assistant, is by his side. John calls her to report his discovery, convinced that Walter hid the map for a vital reason. Nani asks for the document's serial number so she can look into it, and John agrees to send it over. James arrives at Walter's office, surprising John. He finally admits that John was right. Walter didn't die by accident. They watch the security footage together, which confirms the van driver targeted Walter on purpose. The brothers realize the scale of the situation. Between the calculated hit and run and the Yakuza attacking John, they are certain Walter was involved in something massive. Now united by the truth, they head out to uncover the conspiracy their father died trying to expose. On the drive back, they are ambushed by gunmen. John leaps into action, returning fire and causing the attacker's vehicle to explode. The blast destroys James' favorite car in the process. While James is furious about the vehicle, John reminds him that he just saved his life. Safely back at home, Nani reveals that the map belongs to a man named Marcus, a wealthy restaurant owner with Yakuza ties. He's planning a new project at the location on the map. James examines the blueprints and realizes the building isn't a restaurant, it's a casino. Since gambling is illegal in Hawaii, the project is a massive criminal enterprise. Learning that Marcus is hosting a fundraiser the next day, the brothers decide to crash the event. The next day, the brothers visit the construction site and find a group of native Hawaiians living there to protect the land. One woman explains that the government is trying to steal their ancestral property. She makes it clear that they are willing to die to defend it. James and John are moved by their determination. While there, John receives a call. The police found the van that killed Walter along with a dead body inside. John realizes the killers are eliminating witnesses to cover their tracks. They trace the vehicle back to a local motor company. Meanwhile, Pika calls with a breakthrough. He has secured a job on the catering staff for Marcus's party, giving them a way inside. The brothers successfully infiltrate the party disguised as waiters. During the event, John spots a woman and follows her. He introduces himself to her and she identifies him as Walter's son. John breaks the news that his father is dead. Visibly shaken, the woman introduces herself as Monica, Marcus's wife. She reveals that she was the one who hired Walter. She suspected her husband of having an affair and wanted proof. She tells John she has more information and invites him to meet her at a hotel the following day to discuss everything in private. While working at the event, James encounters a guest named Nakamura who is openly using drugs. James notices the name of Nakamura's card is Hayashi Imports, the same name as the company that owned the van used to kill Walter. Before they can investigate further, security guards seize both brothers and bring them before Marcus. Marcus is annoyed and asks why they are at his party. When they identify themselves as Walter's sons and reveal he is dead, Marcus changes his tune. He claims he actually hired Walter to prove Monica was having an affair. John realizes the irony. Both husband and wife had hired Walter to spy on each other. In a tense conversation, John notices a grenade Marcus has on display and seems really interested in it. Unimpressed by their presence, Marcus kicks both brothers out. The following day, John arrives at the hotel for his meeting, only to discover Monica's lifeless body outside. She has been murdered. Convinced that Marcus ordered the hit to silence her, John heads directly to Marcus's estate. He launches a solo assault, fighting his way through security and taking down guards as he nears his target. However, just as he closes in on Marcus, the remaining thugs swarm him. Overwhelmed by their numbers, John is beaten down and captured. That evening, James bails John out of the police station. He is furious, calling John's behavior reckless and childish. When James mentions that this path won't bring John's mother back, John snaps and attacks James. The two brothers engage in a brutal, emotional fight until the truth finally comes out. John reveals his deep resentment. He felt abandoned when James sent him away 20 years ago. James finally explains his side. After their mother died, John's vigilante attacks made him a target for both the police and the mob. James sent him away only to save his life. John admits that in his grief, James was the only family he had left and he needed him. James offers a sincere apology. Finally understanding each other, the brothers agree to put the past aside and work as a team to find Walter's killer.
Back at the house, John receives a call from Valentina. She found a package from Walter at their home in Oklahoma, the very item the Yakuza were hunting. John asks her to fly to Hawaii immediately. When Valentina arrives, they retrieve a flash drive from the package. Pika discovers it is a locked crypto account requiring 12 codes. James provides the list he found in Walter's belongings. As they drive from the airport, they are suddenly ambushed by a helicopter and a fleet of armed vehicles. A high-speed battle ensues. The brothers destroy the ground vehicles, and James successfully shoots down the helicopter. Once safe, they unlock the account. The brothers are devastated to find $1.2 million linked to Governor Peter. They realize Peter and Marcus are partners. Peter clears the land for the illegal casino in exchange for massive bribes. Walter had uncovered this corruption while investigating Marcus's marriage, which led to his murder by Nakamura. Nani, still trusting Peter, shows him the map that proves Marcus is stealing land with a casino with government help. Peter takes the evidence, pretending he will use it to take Marcus down. When James and John return home, they find the house in chaos and the children terrified. Marcus's men have kidnapped both Layla and Nani. Soon after, Marcus calls with a deadly ultimatum. The women are tied up in a basement, and if the brothers ever want to see them alive again, they must hand over the crypto flash drive. Fueled by rage, James reveals a hidden weapon room. The brothers gear up and launch a coordinated assault on Marcus's compound, systematically eliminating his guards. As they tear through the perimeter, Marcus realizes his security is failing and sends Nakamura's elite crew to stop them. James takes point, using lethal military precision to cut down the entire squad. The brothers reach the basement, find Layla and Nani, and quickly untie them. Layla warns them that Marcus has already fled. While John sprints off to hunt Marcus down for revenge, Nakamura ambushes James. The two engage in a brutal hand-to-hand struggle, with Nakamura proving to be a formidable match for James' skills. James brings his full military experience, ending the fight with a single lethal stroke of a sword that slices Nakamura in half. Meanwhile, John tracks Marcus at the water's edge. Marcus isn't just a businessman, he's a master of Yakuza karate, and he uses it to systematically dismantle John, leaving him bloodied and broken on the ground. As Marcus moves in for the kill, John smirks and reveals the grenade he stole from Marcus's office earlier, and the pin is already gone. A massive explosion rips through the dock, vaporizing Marcus instantly. The blast throws John into the ocean, where he begins to sink into the dark water, too injured to swim. Without a second thought, James dives in, grabs John, and brings him back to the surface. On the shore, James is overcome with relief as he realizes his brother is injured but still breathing. The next day, justice finally catches up with the governor. Despite his pleas of innocence and the betrayal of his uncle status, Peter is led away in handcuffs. The corruption that cost Walter's life is officially dismantled. 2 days later, John stands on the beach, looking out at the ocean. For 20 years, his identity was defined by the rage he felt over his mother's death, a rage that had driven him away from James. But now, as he watches his family nearby, he realizes he finally belongs. His peace is interrupted by Mr. K. The mob boss is impressed. John ignored the 7-day ultimatum and took out Marcus, effectively ending the Yakuza's reign of terror that was hurting the local Hawaiian people. Because John did what Mr. K couldn't do it, his life was spared. Before vanishing, Mr. K hands him a small piece of paper. The name of your mother's killer is on this. What you do next is up to you. John hands the paper to James, revealing the identity of the person who took their mother's life. James looks at the meme and sighs with a heavy weight of regret and admits, "You should have had my support back then to kill him. I didn't give it to you then, but this time, James, I won't stop you." John burns the paper with his mother's killer's name. Both brothers start enjoying life with their family, and the movie ends right here. If you like this movie recap, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And now, Movie Mystery Lab is signing out.